This conference will now be recorded.
It's 7 o'clock, so I'll call this meeting to order, and I'll ask for additions to the agenda. Hearing none, I'll ask for an approval of the agenda.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The agenda is approved. Item number 4 is gallery presentations. We have Christine Dowling here from Little Spirit Society, so I'd invite you up to the podium, and I thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you for having me. Good evening, Deputy Mayor and councillors. My name is Christine Dowling, and I am the president and co-founder of the Little Spirit Society of Cape Breton. Before I begin, can I just get a quick show of hands of everyone in this room who personally knows someone who has experienced pregnancy loss? Do you personally know someone who has experienced pregnancy loss? So basically everybody in this room. So as you can see, this is an issue that affects our entire community. Anyone who didn't raise their hand, you probably do know someone who has experienced it, but chances are that they hid that loss from you. In the past, miscarriage was not talked about. Many of our mothers, aunts, and grandmothers carried their grief in silence. About 1.5 years ago, I came to a point in my grief journey where I realized that I no longer wished to remain silent. I wanted to be able to talk about all my children and not just about my 2 boys who I get to watch grow up. I figured that if I could help even one person who has experienced pregnancy loss, then I would begin to tell my stories. I don't have a background in grief counseling or public health or women's services or public speaking, but I do have life experience. So many women and families have life experience with pregnancy loss. Just on Cape Breton Island, there are thousands of people connected by this common thread. At that point in my grief journey, there was no way to be involved locally in bringing awareness to pregnancy loss or to provide support and a sense of community to those families. Together with my husband John and friends from around Cape Breton, the Little Spirit Society of Cape Breton was formed in August of 2021. Currently, we have board members in Inverness, Victoria, and Cape Breton counties. Our mission is to raise awareness and provide support to women and families experiencing pregnancy and/or infant loss. We have an ambitious goal of creating and maintaining a memorial garden or a green space where anyone can choose to have their child memorialized. So many pregnancy losses happen within the first 12 weeks, and often there are no remains to bury, so a traditional cemetery or graveyard is not available to those families. Add to that, most Cape Breton cemeteries are attached to a church or some religion, and not everybody has that. However, we hope to create a space for everyone, regardless of their religious beliefs, their race, their age, or their gender identity. Whether the loss was recent or decades ago, all will be welcome. Although we are not sure exactly what it will look like yet, every family can have their child memorialized in our park. It is a simple way to acknowledge a life, no matter how short it was lived. The Little Spirit Society also takes part in Baby Loss Awareness Week, which runs from October 9th to 15th every year. This week is a time for everyone in the baby loss community and beyond to come together to remember our much loved and missed babies and raise awareness of pregnancy and baby loss. This year is the 20th year that Baby Loss Awareness Week has been recognized. Globally, the end of this week is observed with the Wave of Light at 7 p.m. on October 15th. Starting at the international dateline, participants are invited to light a candle or display pink and blue lights beginning at 7 p.m. and leaving them lit for a minimum of 1 hour. Each time zone, in turn, carries the wave of light around the globe. So for instance, as the candles in Nova Scotia are extinguished at 8 p.m., new ones will be lit in Quebec. Buildings and monuments display pink and blue lights to show community members that they are not alone. And that includes the CN Tower and Niagara Falls. They usually do it on October 15th for the evening. Last year, our society took part in the Wave of Light with a small gathering at the Municipal building in Port Hood. We had about 30 in attendance and handed out glow sticks so that everyone could take part in the Wave of Light. Our partners in the municipality of the County of Inverness purchased and installed LED floodlights, which could be remotely activated at 7 p.m. It was a beautiful tribute and much appreciated by the baby loss community. So now on to the main reason I am here with you tonight. Our society would like to ask for the assistance from the town of Port Hawkesbury to hold a Wave of Light event here on October 15th of 2022. As the final Celtic Colours Festival concert is being held here at the Civic Centre that same evening, we have chosen the Port Hawkesbury Active Transportation Bridge as the landmark we would like to illuminate that evening. I spoke previously with Mr. Doyle, your CAO, and he assured me that there is access to electricity at that location. So we are seeking assistance from council to purchase and install the lights for this event, and to set up and later remove an event tent, podium, and small sound system for our use on October 15th, 2022. And I am available to meet with any personnel to discuss specifics and plan activities for that day. I have also brought along some pink and blue remembrance ribbons, which can be worn for Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Week, October 9th to 15th. And I've given them to you, and Melissa will give them to the members who aren't here this evening. This small gesture is a way to connect with your constituents who have experienced pregnancy loss and encourage more open dialogue about the issue. So again, thank you for allowing me to be present this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Well, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
I personally have a couple of my friends who have gone through this recently, actually, and I think it's a fantastic opportunity to show support.
Mm-hmm.
So I would vote in favor of supporting the ask.
Okay.
Does anybody have any comments or questions?
No.
Okay, Terry?
Just a note to council, I think we can support this with very little funding. That we do have, we have a tent and we have things that we can use in kind. So really, I think it's just a purchase of some floodlights. So we have.
And actually, because it's the bridge, floodlights may not be necessary. We might be able to get away with pink and blue Christmas lights that can actually be strung along the outside of the bridge. And I was doing some research, and we can actually get them here at Canadian Tire in town once they start selling their Christmas stuff on October 1st. So.
The chair,
Yes, Councillor McDougall.
yes, I'd like to move that we support the Little Spirit Society event on the 15th, and we do whatever they need to make it work. Thank you.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
There's your answer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So we will move on to acknowledgements. And our first acknowledgement will be the passing of the Queen. As it's, it's been in the news for the last couple of weeks, and I think it's only right for us to acknowledge it and maybe have a moment of silence. Thank you. On September 30th is Truth and Reconciliation Day. And later on in the agenda, we're going to see a motion to raise the Mi'kmaq flag. Another acknowledgement is the Evergreen Club's 50th anniversary. And I believe we have a letter sent to us asking for a donation to help them with their celebration activities. Is that in the package?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll deal with it there. On behalf of council, I would like to congratulate the staff, the town of Port Hawkesbury, on a successful Granville Green and all the other fun activities that made this summer such a success. It was great to see large crowds in the town all summer. So a great job on the planning and organizing of the events. Also, congratulations to the Festival of the Strait Committee for a successful festival after having our pause through COVID. I'd like to acknowledge Evelyn McCrae, a longtime resident of Port Hawkesbury. Just this past weekend was inducted into the Nova Scotia Country Music Hall of Fame. Evelyn has played music for many years in the area, very well known. So congratulations to Evelyn. I'd like to congratulate Deacon Berkeley Guthrow for being our town volunteer of the year. Congratulations to the Trails Committee for all the wonderful work they have done this summer and that continues within the fall. The under 13 Sting won the U13A Tier 2 Provincial Championship held a few weeks ago in Stewiacke. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge the Premier's announcement for 5 gigawatts of green energy via offshore wind by 2030, with the first lease in 2025. The Strait region was highlighted as an important region for the offshore wind. The Offshore Wind Task Force was also recognized today. And that's all I have for acknowledgements. Anybody else?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have an acknowledgement, please.
Certainly.
I'd like to acknowledge Wayne Reynolds, passed away the last couple of weeks. He's a member of our Wall of Fame. He grew up in the area. He coached judo for many years for the youth of our town. He's a longtime Legion member, and I worked with him a long time at the mill. And he's a friend pretty well to everybody on council for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Not hearing any more acknowledgements, we'll move on to item number 6. Approval of council minutes. So the first one is the public hearing on June 21st, 2022. The second one, a special public meeting, June 21st, 2022. And the third one, the emergency public meeting on July 28th, 2022. Is there any errors or omissions? So I will ask for the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Minutes approved. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Hearing none. Council committee report. A report from the Committee of Whole for June 21st, 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the work up from the Committee of Whole of June 21st, 2022 was approved at the special council meeting directly after that meeting. So there was no action items coming from Committee of Whole of June 21st, 2022.
Thank you. Approval of the Committee of Whole minutes for June 21st, 2022.
Moved.
Do we have a seconder?
That's it, Mr. Chair. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number
Aye.
9 is motions from in camera.
Mr. Chair, there's several motions from the camera for consideration of council. And the first one is that the town of Hawkesbury ratify the lease treatment agreement with GFL Environmental Incorporated and the municipality of the county of Inverness, dated December 1st, 2022.
What's the wish of council?
I would move, Your Worship.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second motion.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Second one?
Second motion for consideration is that the town of Hawkesbury, in partnership with the municipality of the county of Richmond, approve the lease with the Nova Scotia Community College Trade Area Campus for the use of lands at the Joint Industrial Park for the purpose of conducting a heavy equipment operators program.
What's the wishes of council?
I would move, Your Worship.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Third motion coming from camera that the town of Hawkesbury approve an amendment to a lease for the use of space at 3 McSween Street to increase programming space facility.
What is the wishes of council?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You lost me there for a minute.
All those in favor?
All right.
Motion moved. So that's everything for motions in camera?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we'll go on to the council reports on assigned committees. I will email my report this evening. And I believe the mayor has already emailed hers. Councillor
Yeah.
McDougall?
Yes. Can you hear me, Your Worship?
Yes.
Tuesday, the 13th, we had a Landry Lake meeting in cooperation with Inverness County and myself and Chairman McIver. At Tuesday, the 13th at 4 o'clock, we had a police advisory committee meeting with Inverness and Mulgrave. And Friday, the 16th, 9:30 a.m., we had a SAC, Great Area Transit meeting. Myself and the chair, Councillor McCord. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Worship, as Councillor McDougall said, we mentioned the meetings we've been at, and also that our Waterfront Development Society, or committee, the meeting was canceled due to Monday's holiday, and it'll be rescheduled.
Thank you. Moving along, we'll go on to the CAO reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a lot of work done by staff this summer. Very proud of the accomplishments from all departments. A number of acknowledgements made through our acknowledgement section, and thank you for that. Just a few things to add as a summary from all departments. Arena ice was installed at mid-August, and usage began on August 30th. New Zamboni is on schedule to arrive in mid-November now. Project for the renovation improvements to the food bank, Port Hawkesbury Food Bank, is scheduled to start this week, and that project has been awarded to Blackstone Construction. There's a number of projects that are happening with the facilities, with the department, in conjunction with our sports facilities. There's also the work has begun on our electric vehicle charging station. So we have the electrical conduit in place and concrete pad and footer for the charging units are in place, and we're now awaiting the actual charging stations. A very successful summer with students, and very happy with the students that chose to work with us, and there was a lot of work accomplished with that group of young women and men. From recreation, recreation department hosted a very successful day camp this year from July 4th to August 27th. We've had great feedback from the parents and children who participated in that. And that was done in a partnership with Autism Nova Scotia and the Strait Area chapter, which also added an extra value to that program. Registration for the fall program began September 13th, and you have your flyers that were sent out. Strait Area Pool will open September 20th. Again, that's in the flyers. Michelle has indicated sponsorship with respect to grants that we've applied for, and as well as we talked about Granville Green and other department support for events. So very successful, busy weekend for recreation and programming. So thanks very much for that. Extremely busy summer for Public Works. Very proud of all the work that they've done. We've looked at the completed a phase of our active transportation project, which was conducted on Macquarie Drive Extension, connecting one of our prime facilities in Port Hawkesbury, our park area. So that work is done primarily. Work of weeks construction is completed, and Public Works have taken on extra concrete work and landscaping work, which is completed as well. Capital paving projects, significant amount of capital paving projects on almost 10 areas in town, and that's milling and repaving and repair of curb and any number of things. So huge improvement through town with that work that we conducted with Ocean Paving. That work, there's still some reinstatement work that's happening. Temporary work put in place temporary placement in place to with respect to driveways, but that work will be completed when that crew is back in town. As well, we've been able to advance our active transportation project to include a portion of the waterfront AT build. And that tender was closed on August 11th, awarded to Ocean Paving, and we expect to see that work start at the end of this month. It's been, very, very successful and ton of work done. Sidewalk, I think we have over 500 meters of sidewalk completed, 350 meters of sidewalk done, and we're still working on sidewalk right now. So again, very successful. And I think next month we'll revisit this stuff and give you a little more explanation of what was done and what we accomplished and bring that up to date. And that is the report, the CAO report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Is there any questions in regards to the report?
Through you, your worship, I have no questions. I read the reports. Just take the opportunity, being our first meeting back, I guess, for the summer break. Thank all staff and departments for all their hard work during the summer.
Thank you. Councillor McDougall?
No, I agree with Councillor McIver. Summer well, with all the 2 summers before and everything, it was fantastic.
Thank you, and I will echo Councillor McIver's remarks as well. The amount of work that got done this summer and with the amount of people that we have was just outstanding. So we'll move on to item number 12, correspondence.
There's no correspondence to review, Mr. Chair.
Number 13, proclamations and resolutions.
There is no proclamations or resolutions to announce.
Okay. Other business?
So, Mr. Chair, under other business, we have the expense report. So we have 3 months of expense reports. So for the month of May, the total expenditure of almost $3,000, and that was with respect to primarily NSFM conference and some other meetings that were attended by mayor and council. Through the month of June, again, we have approximately $2,700, and that again is for work that was completed with respect to the offshore wind task force, the Governor General reception, and REAP project. On August, for the month of August, we have a total of almost $2,900, and that's a assortment of expenses that were incurred over the month of August. And I remind those watching that expense reports are posted and available for review by the public.
Thank you. The dog bylaw, we're going to defer, if that's okay with council. Moving on to municipal boundary review.
Just a reminder for council and an update where we're at with the municipal boundary review. There's a statutory requirement for application for boundary review, and that's every 8 years since 2006. Council of every municipality and town of the province must study the number and boundaries of its polling districts, their fairness, reasonableness, and the number of councillors. After it completes a study and before the end of the year, the council must apply to the board, that's the Utility and Review Board, to confirm the number of councillors. For towns that elect councillors at large, an application must be filed with the board to confirm or change the number of councillors. So every 8 years, this work has to happen. With rural municipalities and with larger towns and cities, the boundaries of for polling district have to be reviewed and amended as required. And for those without wards, thank you, it's the number of councillors that has to be confirmed. So we're only required to review the number of councillors. So there's a two-step process. The first is that council should decide on the number of councillors, and which is what we have to do. Second step is questions about the distribution of polling districts should be addressed in the second stage. Style of government should not be decided until adequate public consultation has occurred. So again, this is a two-step process, but we only have to complete the first stage, which is with respect to the number of councillors. These are in accordance with the Act, and the things that we should consider: public consultation, relative parity among voting power, polling district boundary descriptions, hearing, general procedures, and board discussions. To move the process forward, I'm asking for a motion from council for consideration that the town of Port Hawkesbury accept the recommendation of the CAO to hold a public consultation on the URB application to confirm or alter the number of councillors. So what would occur is that we would advertise for public consultation and accept both written and oral requests to be heard with respect to this issue.
What is the wishes of council?
I would move to accept the recommendation of the CAO.
You're broke up there, Councillor McDougall.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion moved. So we will go on to the NSFM survey.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So we have, council has been given the NSFM survey with respect to a number of questions that we've been asked to consider. It has to be a response, has to be a joint response from all councillors. We have not had an opportunity to consider the questions that are put forward in the survey. I would ask that we will be sending out correspondence with respect to that, determine how you wish to proceed with that survey. If there's a follow-up meeting within the next 2 weeks, or whether you wish to complete the survey. So that email will be coming out this week for council's consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we have for consideration appointments to some committees, if council wishes to consider. We have a number of people who've come forward over the summer period and volunteered to serve on committees. With respect to the waterfront committee, we have a request from Damian Phillips and Kevin Fowley. And we ask the council consider that the town of Port Hawkesbury appoints town residents Damian Phillips and Kevin Fowley to the Waterfront Advisory Committee.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm just wondering if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, no, I'm just wondering, our committees are usually done this year. I think it's 2 years in November. Can we defer this to November's meeting? And when we do all our committees, we can add these two at that time. Is there a reason why it has to be now?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, it's totally at the discretion of council, and yes, there will be an advertisement go out in November to ask for volunteers for all of our committees, and it's that time where council will sit and review appointments of councilors to those committees as well. So there will be a major change in committees effective in January, with advertising starting in November. We don't often get a lot of people coming forward to serve on, who've shown strong interest in, to serve on committees, so I think that's why it's been brought forward. The wish of council, we can follow through with the motion, or we can ask that the volunteers who are identified tonight attend our meetings and be officially appointed in the new year. But it's typical when we have residents come forward with showing strong interest that we typically have appointed them right away.
Any more questions, Councillor McDougall?
No, that's fine, thanks.
So for this motion for consideration, what's the wishes of the council?
I would move to appoint Damien Phillips and Kevin
I
Fowley
would
to
move
the
it,
board.
I would move it, I'd second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
And there's another motion for consideration with respect to committees. That's the town of Port Hawkesbury appoints Melissa McDonald to the Accessibility Advisory Committee.
What's the wishes of council?
so moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Aye,
So that's all the advisory committee appointments?
Yes.
Thank you.
aye.
National Truth and Reconciliation Day. Over to you.
Again, another motion for consideration with respect to supporting and recognizing that day. And that's the town of Port Hawkesbury raised the Mi'kmaq flag on September 30th for the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation.
I would like to make an amendment to this motion to raise the flag from September 30th until the end of October. Because I do believe the month of October is recognition month. That was a request sent to me just recently from the mayor.
Great, perfect.
So are we okay with changing that motion to read, to fly the Mi'kmaq flag from September 30th until October 31st inclusive?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Motion moved. Oh, what happened there?
Is it your computer or is it just the? I think we're still in line. It's just not showing. Can you still hear Huey? Because he's hooked into your computer.
can you hear me?
Okay,
Yeah.
there we
Yeah, we can
go.
hear you.
Okay.
Can you see me? If you can see me, just look at my hand.
We're just having some difficulties here right now.
I have no problem hearing you, Mr. Chair.
I think you just timed out. See what happens when it boots there.
Just give us a minute there, Councillor McDougall, please.
There we go.
Everything's good here.
Just hit no, Lenny.
Okay, we're good here now. So we'll move on to funding requests.
Yes, Deputy Mayor, we have 3 funding requests to consider. So just, Aaron had completed this, this short spreadsheet with respect to our allotment, our budget allotment for donations. As you see, we have a remaining budget at this point in the year of $1,000. First budget request is from Celtic Colors. And the request from Celtic Colors is the annual sponsorship of the Celtic Colors program. I just mentioned that that was discussed at budget and included, so the $5,000 has been budgeted for Celtic Colors.
Right.
The request typically comes to us much earlier, but just a new administration and just a delay in receiving the funding. So that's a request from Celtic Colors for our annual $5,000 contribution. So there is a request for a motion for consideration with Celtic Colors that the town of Roxbury approves a sponsorship request from Celtic Colors International Society of $5,000.
What's the wishes of council?
I would move.
All those, Councillor McDougall is waving yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
So the next request is for the, and it's the RCFNS fall convening session. And there's a letter that's been attached to your
So
package.
moved.
There's been a letter attached to your package asking for
Second.
funding to support this project. That's we just, I think in our slides, we just included the level of sponsorship. The conference will, or the
I'll second
convene.
it.
It's delayed.
Yeah, Councilor Brugel, I think your mic is delayed. So we'll just keep on moving. So sponsorship package. So the convening session will be held at the Civic Center. And the mayor will be speaking at that as a participating as well as staff. To be recognized in their sponsorship material is $1,000, but we will be hosting that event over 2 days. So it is possible if you wish to consider waiving fees for that event up to $1,000 or less. So that's for your consideration.
And what's the wishes of council?
I would move.
Councillor McDougall just gave the thumbs up. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion moved.
So the next request is from the Evergreen Club. The Evergreen Club is planning to celebrate 50-year anniversary as we acknowledge this evening on the 22nd of October. That COVID really restricted their ability to fundraise, and they haven't really been able to fundraise over the last more than 2 years. And they're asking for a donation for that event. I think the total cost of the event is estimated to be around $2,700. And so what council is suggesting, but certainly it's Yeah, is a $500 donation. We would also be very, very willing to provide, if it's of use to them, free passes, free swim and skating rental passes as well.
What's the wishes of council?
I would move to approve $500
So
request.
moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You get the thumbs up?
Second it. All right.
Motion moved. So the offshore wind task, the mayor has asked me to just send out basically an invitation to all of council. Anybody who's interested in coming on that task force, just reach out to the mayor and she'd be more than happy to bring you along. And we had no additions to the agenda. So we'll move right along to future meetings. The next public meeting will be Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. The next committee of whole, Tuesday, October 18th. And for anybody online, if you have any questions, we'll leave the line open here for a couple of minutes or a minute or so to see if we have any questions from the public. Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion of adjournment.
I'd move to adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
So moved.
That's great.